The craziest thing happened on the last load the other night. I shut off the combine, unloaded the last load, and was going to turn it on to clean out the insides. I must have shut it off too soon, because I'm hoping it's just that the clean grain is full of corn. And I got that barrel, it was coming out so fast, I'm like, I'm going to fill more than that barrel. Well, wasn't much more than that barrel, but maybe that is enough for what caused it. It's not like it's 30% corn is the thing. If it was 30% corn, I'd believe it. So hopefully, if I empty this out and the bubble up, that was just our problem, because the slip clutches were ratcheting. It was not like in life. I'm hoping it's not a bubble up auger gearbox. Well, we're getting to the last field. Made the road journey. Didn't pick off any mailboxes or garbage cans or mirrors. And this is probably as close as I farmed to civilization. Almost right in town, still in the corporation limit. This field coming up here is where we saw the plowing this spring. And literally the pavement ends and the corn begins, which is very convenient. Like for loading wagons, it'll be nice because we can just run with the truck and not have to, worry about anything else. Like we don't need a tractor here. Just pull right up here on the pavement and dump and go, and not burn tractor tire tread so much. Okay. Let's get this buggy in a lower gear. We'll go with that. That's low enough so we can run the four-wheel. Shouldn't need it, but I just like using it because I got it. Okay, take it up. Everything seems to be turning fine since I just dumped all the corn out of the return and the bubble up auger. Okay. Yeah, that should be good. So we gotta have enough speed, because if not, the return elevator is very sensitive. Yeah, we can watch ground speed, I guess. Steering wheel's in my lap. Let's get the corn. Now, being on the edge of civilization, I'm curious what we may find out here. I found like 3 blue shop towels one day when I was out here getting a few ears to test moisture. At first, I didn't realize that they were blue towels. I thought they were gloves, but on further inspection, they were just shop towels. You know, who knows what the hooligans are hiding out in the corn doing. So yep, we plowed this, and I'm curious, this is the second planted corn way back on May 18th. It did very well, it came up quick, and I attribute that to the fact that it was plowed. Being plowed sod that broke up really good, fantastic seed to soil contact, not cloddy at all. Soil broke up well and everything. Let's go to the races. Now I did play with the sheet metal between the rows, and I've got them adjusted all the way in on the slots and stuff. I know I'm getting the most out of the combine right now. I probably need to change the deck plate width, but that was a bit more involved than I was willing to get at the moment. Just trying to get done for 5-6 more acres here. I can deal with narrow deck plates. Just under 3 miles an hour, and we're eating it. I'm probably taking in plenty of stock. I could raise the head, but this outside row can be a little short at times. When we get to the back, I'm going to shut off the camera. That way I've got 2 hands to deal with potentially being bushwhacked. Would you get over yourself already over there? Yay, pavement. Yep, Dad dropped some wagons there right on the edge of civilization. So I just kind of reach out here from the very edge and dump in. And I'm a little wary for some reason about shutting it off because I know I got everything full. I mean, now that it's going down, the bubble up's had time to empty out. So I don't have to worry about that being full of corn or nothing. But we definitely unload fast when I'm running full RPM. And then I don't have to sit there and wear out the clutch and feel like plant the throttle. Corn's right there, we'll be in and out quick. Well, this is a blast. I know, I need to open those deck plates. If I'm creeping along slow, we're fine. If I'm not creeping along slow, then we're not so fine. And I was just testing my luck on speed. And it gets kind of backed up, but also with the narrowness, I don't know how well you can see. You can't see it there and we can't see the sides, but there's like a rub rail for the chain on the top side. And the sheet metal should be not, it should be behind that, we'll say. Somewhere I miscounted, ended up with an odd number of rows. This ended up being fairly square, so I didn't have like too much crazy stuff with point rows in the back here. If we go real slow, maybe we can push it in enough and I can play with it to show you guys what's going on. Okay, I think we got enough. If I just catch it right below the ears, it'll pull that in. Come on, come on, you gonna eat it, you gonna eat it, you gonna eat it? I love having the reverser just for this and other things, but I, you know, haven't plugged it to need the reverser. Okay, come on, back out, would ya? Back out. Okay, looks like we're just about gonna get it. There we go. And usually it's at the base of the deck plates where we'll get a little something stuck, like a stock or an ear shank, and it's broken off, but then it gets plastered down and then it gets in the way. And I think it's because it's too tight, there's not enough room for things to get through. But it also, the sheet metal's tight, so then stuff piles up because it can't get down to the gathering chains. And I'm out of adjustment on that row to get it narrower. This head is set on 36s, even though I plant 38s, there's enough, say, flexibility in the stock that it works. If I was planting in circles and always following a curve, I would definitely think about making it wider again, so it was a perfect match. But like I said, there's some flexibility to the stock, so we're going with it. But that just means the sheet metal is pulled in all the way for its adjustment. So whoever had it before me wanted it on 36s. I wonder how visible this is on the camera, but I can definitely see it from the driver's seat, so I think the camera will pick it up. There's this section of the field, I don't know if it was wet or dry here, but the stalks are just literally obliterated of leaves. Like maybe they dried really well and they all fell off, because look up ahead and we get back, there's a lot more leaves and tassels on the stalk. I mean, this could be a lower spot, but the corn looks really good coming in. So, I mean, not that we had an overly dry summer, but maybe it had the right amount of something to like mature super fast. It's not like we had just one blast of wind right in the center of the field there. Because see, look, it's like real tall leaves everywhere. And back there, it was half the stalk had broken off when the leaves were gone. Which, hey, the less material we got to run through, the better. I'm all about, you know, dry stalks and the top falling out, because you don't need the top after the ear's made. It probably fell out after it was dry. It wasn't like it was a green snap or anything. And I wouldn't say there was hail, because that was like one little spot. It'd be the whole field or something if that had happened this summer. And none of this looks shredded. So I'm going if it's a maturity thing. But was it water, or was it like a nutrient excess there, we'll say? Did I get lucky that that's where all the deer used to poop when this was grass or something? Woo! There's no more room. We got our full grain tank capacity there. Yay, autopilot. So moisture on this, I checked this, shelved it off the other day, put it in the moisture tester. It's down about 16 or so, which is delightful. It flows, it's dry, a little bit of fan time and we'll get it, you know, dried out in the winter. But a little bit of fan time isn't too bad. Oh, I'm getting close to maybe having to pay attention to moving here so we don't run the wagon over. Don't want to leave deer snacks everywhere. We had rain yesterday, which I want to take a look at the soil out in the field, because they got more here in town than we did, and it was coming down at an okay pace. Probably got a couple tenths. We just got enough to get the grass wet and stuff. I can't swing the tongue so easily on this. Well, that's a good sign for him to stop. Let's see if I can muscle this over. You guys can see much at the moment. Can I hold it? There we go. So before it gets dark here, it's about the end of the day, at least end of daylight. I got Dad to drive and take a minute so I can get some outside footage. He's been running wagons with the truck. We just got hooked up. There's better heat in there, and since we have all this access to pavement, we don't need a tractor to make sure we can get back to pavement. But like I said, it's holding up really well for the rain they got yesterday. Some other fields where there were like a wet corner that I knew could potentially be wet. Oh, you know we had tires. But this, for being moldboard plowed, everyone, you know, it's probably trying to tell me that, oh, it's gonna be soft in the fall. That's pretty firm, and I wonder if that's because of it being sod. And somehow all that organic material from the roots and the grass helped with water infiltration. But even last February, I was out here collecting the round bales I made because I didn't get to it quick enough. That I was surprised how solid it was for February. Like, I didn't make a mess collecting the round bales, even though you saw the struggles we had plowing because of a low, I don't know what to call it, swale to the middle of the field. I didn't run the grain tank over, but there's my donation to not having cap corn. We haven't had any issues during corn, no breakdowns, other than what I showed at the beginning of the video. I wouldn't call that a breakdown. Now that I know where all the grease zerks are, every bearing gets greased as it should. We're getting good cob size. This is mostly just broken from going through the chopper. see we got some moisture because in the dead furrow there's some water sitting there, but it's firm right next to it. I tried to lay this out so he had some room to turn on the ends here. I got to take a look in the corn real quick. Here's an ear. That one filled out pretty good. Only had a little bit of tip dye back. Not bad. That's, I'd say, fairly acceptable. I'm happy with it. It looks like it's a 16 around. That silage corn at home was 18 around. So what's better, length or girth? As far as yield is going, between this, the no-till, and the crawdad swamp's winning. And I think it's just because we had the perfect dry year for it. In the middle of the no-till field, it did pretty good. And this field's fairly even. You know, no great spots. The only bad spot was along the trees, thanks to the deer. Okay, we'll run up here a second so we can see, you know, what's left. There's a lot of roots still left from all the sod and whatnot. I could ear pick this with a pull behind and a wagon, and you'd think it was October 1st still. I don't know, I am pretty far north, I guess we'll say, and as we go north, the soil gets better drained. Now we'll let them take the loop here and we'll get to see this side of the combine. The drum is turning, if ever so slow, but it's turning. It doesn't take much. I think the one drive belt inside may be a little bit worn, and then the pulley it rides in is a little bit worn. I'm sure it's slipping, but it doesn't affect production yet. sunset is not quite as pretty as the one that ended soybean harvest, but there's a nice kind of reddish purple hue to the clouds on the last 4 rows. We'll have 4 gravity wagons filled off of, I don't know, it's at least 5 or 6 acres. And they're J&M 250 boxes. So depending upon whose measurements, this was, well, pretty good. It was all in the ballpark. Oh, we're done. All in the ballpark of like 160 to 170.